How's it going? Do you like RPGs? Not just any RPGs. I mean the sweaty, no hand-holding start off as a loser nobody, eventually turning into an unstoppable force, placed in a sandbox world full of rich lore, where your choices have real consequences type of RPGs. Yeah? Well, you're in luck, as we're finally getting some updates on the Gothic Remake, which was announced in 2019. Have you ever played the Gothic series? No? Well, you're missing out. Gothic was released in 2001 and was developed by a German development studio called Piranha Bytes. It was well received by critics and to this day has somewhat of a cult following due to its deep story, sense of freedom, and satisfying progression. Although I admit it's extremely dated compared to the games of today, but it offered unmatched atmosphere and immersion that only a few games have been able to do so, leaving an itch unscratched for many fans of the original series. The Gothic 1 remake is being developed by Alchemia Interactive and published by THQNordic after buying Piranha Bytes in May 2019. Shortly after, a playable teaser demo was released to get feedback from the fan community and on the idea of a remake. Even though that Gothic has a smaller fan base than a lot of other franchises, the demo was downloaded over 180,000 times and had a positive reaction from the fans. A few months later, Alchemia Interactive was founded in Barcelona to work on the game, and all creative people involved were advised to have played the original before the start of production. In Gothic 1, players take on the role of an unnamed prisoner thrown into a colony. This colony is massive and encircled by a magical barrier in the kingdom of Murtana. The colony is a grim and dangerous place where prisoners mine magical ore for the kingdom's war efforts against the orcs. The world is divided into three main factions: the old camp, loyal to the king and focused on mining ore; the new camp, a rebellious group striving for freedom and self-sufficiency; and the sect camp, a mystic faction devoted to the enigmatic sleeper. Each faction offers unique quests, challenges, and philosophies, shaping the player's journey as they navigate alliances, conflicts, and the dark, immersive world of Gothic. Let's talk about the world. As I mentioned, our character is sent to the colony known as the Valley of Mines, which is situated in the Isle of Coronus. It is surrounded by a magical barrier that transmits everything to the outside world. Another YouTuber did a wonderful job at comparing scenes from the trailers and the original game, showing the team's dedication to keeping the remake as true to the original as possible and respecting the source material. I'll leave a link in the description below if you would like to see comparisons by yourself. Now, due to increased design options and the advancement of technology, it is stated that the game is based on the original, but it will be 10 to 30% larger overall. The original game covered an area of about 1.1 kilometers squared, and compared to other games like Skyrim, which was 15 square miles, and Kingdom Come Deliverance, which was 16, it seems a little bit small. However, large games have a lot of teleporting options and mounts to cut down on travel time. A well-built, handcrafted world should be more than enough to keep us busy. And what you're currently seeing is footage of the 2019 demo. However, according to an interview with the lead producer of Alchemia Interactive, there was a complete reboot in game design after player feedback was received, bringing the game closer to the original. A few game mechanics the team has stated that has been changed or updated are things such as the skill system, which is more than likely kept intact, but given a little bit of depth, as it did feel a little bit lackluster in the original. Also, the lockpicking has been changed to be more interactive. However, I've not seen any footage of this yet, but I assume it's going to be a similar minigame like many other games out there. And now, if you currently own a Gothic game on Steam, the teaser demo is available if you would like to play it, but it does not run that well and does not represent the final product at this point, so I would not recommend installing it at this time. There are multiple videos showing gameplay though if you'd like to see it for yourself. Let's move on to the combat. In Gothic, we have three options, being melee, ranged, and magic. In the original, the melee and range systems were not as in-depth as many other games, and even stealth options were present but felt a little bit lacking. However, it appears that the remake will have more advanced features, keeping us more engaged. Personally, I think the range looks awesome, even though I mostly play melee characters. One thing I will say about the original that did really well was the magic system. It was incredibly unique for the time, as we got various options for not only damage, but for teleportation, possessing, sleeping, and charming enemies, summoning demons, golems, and undead, and even shapeshifting. We have yet to see how far they will go with the magic system, but with the team promising the combat being close to the original, we should assume that every spell should be present, and even more fun. Should you play Gothic 1 before the remake? This is a hard question to answer as it really depends on the player. I'm going to be honest, in order to enjoy the original, you have to be pretty forgiving, or don't mind playing older games that feel a little bit clunky. Without going into too much, there are YouTube guides on how to pick up items in this game. Yeah. You heard that correctly. To get an item, you have to hold control and hit forward. It doesn't make any sense at all, but it is what it is, and if you look past its flaws, you are in for a ride. If you are not the forgiving type, I would recommend either watching a Let's Play or just waiting for the remake, as it looks very promising, as it's going to bring the beloved world to modern platforms, featuring significant improvements in graphics and gameplay. It's also powered by Unreal Engine 5. Release date. Now, in February 2023, the studio stated that the project was on schedule but did not want to commit to a release date at that time. Later on, they did mention that 2024 would be a realistic release timeline. However, at the time of making this video, we still have not had a release date announced. That being said though, the team is working on making an appearance at Gamescom this month in August. where I'm hoping we get more information and news and even a playable demo. When the game's released, it'll have various language options such as German, English, Russian, and Polish. And many other languages are available in text only. It will be launching on the PS5, Xbox, and PC. There's also a collector's edition if you're interested in that sort of thing. It comes with a sleeper mask for your wall, which looks kinda cool. And that's it really. I usually make videos about Stardew Valley and other cozy games, which I still want to do, but I've decided to branch out to other RPG games that don't suck, which is my real passion. Many other games labeled cozy are just trash compared to Stardew Valley, and more often than not they cost double, which Stardew Valley is only $15 and has had only free updates for the past 8 years. I feel like I'm doing a disservice to the community for providing content for any games that I don't feel are worth your time or money. Moving forward, I promise that I won't cover any games that are trash on this channel and not worth your time. If you're interested, feel free to subscribe, as I got a lot planned moving forward and would like to start making long-form quality content. If you made it this far, thank you so much for your time and listening to what I had to say. Peace.